For this lesson, we will solve equations by clearing fractions. And what that means is that we're going to take every term multiplied by the least common denominator. We kind of did this before when we dealt with our complex fractions, but you'll find on questions like this that it might be super helpful and make the mathematical work that you have to do to isolate x a little bit easier. So let me show you. What I would do is I would find all of the denominators, in this case 2 and 3, and find the least common denominator. In this case that would be 6. So I'm going to take everything times 6, every single term. If I take 6 times -1, that gives me -6, divided by 2 gives me -3. 6 times x would give me 6x, and then 6 times 2/3, 6 times 2 is 12, divided by 3 is 4. And so what happens when I clear fractions is I multiply by that LCD, and now I don't have any fractions left. So that makes it a little bit easier for me to subtract 4 on each side. -3 minus 4, I would keep flip change to give me -7. And then I would divide by 6. -7 over 6 reduces to -1 1/6. That was the same answer we had on our last question. I think this way was a little bit easier. For my second one, this one's actually pretty straightforward because my only denominator is 8. So I'm going to take everything times 8. 8 times 5/8 would be 8 times 5 or 40, divided by 8 is 5. 8 times -5 is -40x. And now this is a one-step equation. I'm going to divide by -40. 5 and -40, instead of dividing and finding a decimal, I'm going to reduce. So I can reduce by dividing the top by 5 to get 1, and the bottom by 5 to get 8. And of course, again, that's a negative, so -1/8. And that was the same answer that we had before. For my next question, I look at my denominator of 1 and 5 and 4 and decide to take everything times 20. 20 times 8 is 160. 20 times -3/5, I would multiply 20 times 3 to get 60 and divide by 5 to get 12. And then 20 times 1 is 20, divided by 4 is 5. Keep track of those negatives, make sure they all end up in the same place. Now this is fairly straightforward. I'm going to move that -160 to the opposite side. That gives me -12x, and negative plus another negative gives me -165. I'm going to divide by -12 to get x by itself. And of course that gives me 165 over 12. And I will take 12 into 165, which hopefully is 13. And then that would leave me with 9 12ths left over, and 9 12ths would then reduce to 3/4, which is the same answer that we had before. For my next question, I'm going to take everything times the least common denominator, which of course would be 12, because 4 and 3 would both go into 12. So 12 times 1/4, 12 times 1 is 12, divided by 4 is 3. 12 times 1 is 12, divided by 3 is 4. And 12 times -2 is -24. And now I would subtract that 3x from each side. That would give me 4 equals -27x, and divide by -27. And honestly, that's really all I can do in that question. -4/27 is the same answer that I had before. Here's a question for you to try on your own. I know we just did this question, but I would like you to try it by clearing fractions now, and then see if you get the same answer, which was 20 over 63. So I'm going to multiply everything in this case. I have 2 and 5 and 6. So I'm looking for the number that 2 and 5 and 6 go into, and in this case that would be 30. So I'm going to take everything times 30. 30 times 4x is 120x. 30 times 1/2, it'd be 30 times 1, or 30, divided by 2, which is 15. 30 times 1 is 30, divided by 5 is 6, so that's 6x. 30 times 5 is 150, and then divide it by 6, I get 25. And now this question got a whole lot easier. On the left side, 120 and 6 would give me 126x. I would add 15 to each side, which would give me 126x equals 40. I would then divide by 126 on each side. 40 over 126 would reduce because I could divide the top by 2 to get 20 and the bottom by 2 to get 63. And so 20 over 63, which was the same answer that I had before.